Guru. I'm going to be doing a prediction banlist video with Cthonian121. So if you're watching this on his channel, please subscribe to me.
Hey guys, this is Cthonian121. Major thanks to DaGadgetGuru for letting me be on his channel. So we're just gonna be making a video together, giving our thoughts on the ban list and what's gonna be going on, and basically our predictions. So if you're watching this video on his channel, sub to me. If you're watching this video on my channel, go sub to him. He's a really cool guy. So, Gadget Guru, what should we talk about on the ban list?
Alright, we're going to talk about the cards that we both discussed already that we believe should be banned. The first one is Blackluster Soldier and Way of the Beginning. When this card came back, a lot of people saw this card being a problem. They were right. A lot of people tried to make the argument, well, he's no bigger than a Chaos Sorcerer, but the problem is, his effect is not limited like Chaos Sorcerer. Chaos Sorcerer can only be used on face-up monsters. BLS doesn't have a distinction. It can be face-up or face-down. Not including, he has a second effect where he can attack over a monster and then go for 3,000 direct, making him pretty much an OTK card. In my opinion, this gives too many pluses to decks that already plus off light and dark monsters. A very good example are Chaos decks. Well, the Chaos deck won the last Shonen Jump, and BLS will only further spread that deck. Also coming in the future, the Dragon structure deck will be based around all lights and all dark.
BLS is just extra support from there, so it's retarded. Stay banned.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts. So if you have any thoughts, go ahead.
Yeah, BLS, ever since this came back, I knew this was gonna be a problem because BLS is just one of those cards that should have stayed banned. It's just, it's so easy to get out. You just run effect failure and a BLS isn't it? Just throw it in a BLS. BLS is being splashed in every single deck you can think of. I've seen friggin' Blackwings play play BLS. I've seen Dark World play BLS. I've even seen some Inzectors playing BLS, which is just completely retarded. It's just special summon. I banish your, let's say, Zen Mind, you can't, and, or I could double attack if I drop an honest game. This should be banned. It's just wrecking this format. It's the main boss monster of this format. That could be thrown in any deck.
Okay. Next card is Future Fusion. Now, this card has been around for a long time, and it got dropped to limited, I think about 3 or 4 lists ago. It's been limited for a while now. Now, a lot of people don't see this ban coming, but it's because they haven't been seeing the new decks that will be coming out. This Future Fusion will make the Dragon structure coming out pretty soon very, very, very broken. The Dragons plus off the graveyard, period. If they fill their graveyard, they've pretty much won the game. So Future Fusion literally becomes a painful choice for Dragons. It fills their graveyard with everything they need to just win. And between the OTK and the lat abuse, if Future Fusion just becomes so powerful, you can't do anything about it. Another problem with Future Fusion is the heroes that are coming out. We're about to get a lot more heroes, and the heroes are going to be a very good deck. Future Fusion makes it really, really easy to spam elemental hero fusions all day long. So I think for these reasons, it really does need to go. I mean, it's going to be very unbalanced in certain decks. So that's my thoughts on it.
Well, my thoughts on it is like the same thing as Gadgets. It's 5 foolish burial for 1, basically. It's all it is. Just dump your cards, start off your crazy combos. It's setting up for labs, setting up these crazy light pulsar plays, even for BLS, like I mentioned earlier. It's just a stupid card. It was good. Like, I've always been a fan of Dragons. I've always been a fan of Future Fusion, but it's coming to a point where it's going to be beyond broken. It just has to go, the Future Fusion. Without the Future Fusion, the Dragons will still be able to accomplish everything, but without that little extra support. So, banning the Future Fusion is a good way to go. Also, it gives you a free 5,000 beater just in case, just for a free 5,000 beater just thrown in there. So, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the Future Fusion.
Alright, Cthonian, why don't you take us through the limited list?
Don't you forget, banning Wind Up Hunter?
Oh, why would we want to ban that? Let's talk about that card for a little bit.
Well, you know.
Alright, Wind Up Hunter. I know a lot of you Wind Up fans are going to be very angry.
So don't hate us all.
It does need a ban, and you can't argue that. The ability for it to discard your entire hand in 1 turn, losing no advantage, maybe 1 card, that is nowhere near fair. It is a ridiculous loop that should never have been made. But since it is, and people will be playing it, it needs to be stopped before it becomes abused, to be honest, by players. If you don't know how the wind-up loop works, go ahead and look it up on YouTube. Everyone has done videos on it. I did some explaining in my last video. It's all around Hunter. Without Hunter, they can't do the loop. I mean, yes, they can synchro summon or exceed summon spam on you, fine, but they can't do the loop to discard your entire hand to the graveyard, and it makes the card way too powerful. I mean, that's basically making it to where it in itself is, well, a card destruction only for your opponent, and then they don't draw. So it's just, and then what's even worse about Wind Up Hunter is the way they worded it. It sends them. So even if you're a Dark World player, you still get screwed by Wind Up Hunter because you will not get your effects. So any way you look at it, Wind Up Hunter is just ridiculous in the fact that it makes Wind Up decks plus so fast and just auto win the game first turn.
Well, my thoughts on Hunter is it's a card that should not been made. Wind-ups don't need Hunter. They could play without the Hunter. The Hunter is just there to piss off your opponent more. That's all it is. So you can still get your crazy synchros without the Hunter. Hunter is just there to make you discard your opponent's hand. So banning this it has to be banned just so it won't. Well, I'm sorry, not discard. Send to the graveyard because of the wording. Banning the Hunter is one of the things that Konami must do in this format before everything goes crazy before Long Beach, YCS, or Atlanta, or anything like that. I'm sorry, not Atlanta. So Hunter is one of those cards that means instant ban. So my thoughts on that.
Alright, so now for the limited cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna run you down to the limited cards that we believe that should be limited. First off, Inzektor Dragonfly. I think this is a card that's on everyone's list. Inzektors have been just raping in OCG and starting to rape it into TCG. We don't want that to go up, so the Dragonfly has to be limited. With one Dragonfly, Inzektors will not be able to do much because I've been testing Inzektors on Duel Network. I know what I'm saying. With the one Dragonfly, Inzektors will minus themselves so badly because not only do they need to get that one Dragonfly to their hand, they also must have Hornet and all that stuff already for the loop to work. And with Dragonfly being at 3, it's retarded because with Dragonfly you get so many pluses. You destroy your opponent's field, you hide behind his Zen main, and you get another Dragonfly to your hand, and to start the loop all over again next turn. It's beyond retarded.
I agree. Dragonfly is the main searcher of the deck. True, Hornet is kind of the hidden hand in the whole thing. He's the reason the loop works. But at the same time, Dragonfly is the one that special summons the Centipede to continue the loop to then add the Dragonfly back to hand. With one Dragonfly, you can only do the loop one time before it's over because the Dragonflies will keep the loop going. And a lot of people don't think she should be limited because it's like, oh, well, it's not fair to limit her just because she special summons another monster. It's Inzektor Hornet's fault. Well, I agree to that in some regard. Like, the fact that Hornet gives her such a plus just shouldn't be allowed. I mean, her ability to special summon another Inzektor is okay. And Hornet effect in general is retarded. But I really think that for the deck to become balanced, Dragonfly has to at least go to 2. I mean, if they don't drop her to 1, fine, I guess I can see that. But at least go to 2 because she just adds too much consistency. That's the problem with Inzektors. Their consistency never stops.
So that's why Dragonfly should be limited. Alright, next card on the list, I'm gonna say for limited, Light and Darkness Dragon. My thoughts on this card. For the past few formats, I always wanted this card to be limited because the abused Swamp Frog Monarchs use it, Treeborn Frog Monarchs used it. Like, there's been formats where Light and Darkness Dragon been overused. But this is the format where Light and Darkness Dragon should be limited because the thought about Dragon players being plussing off it so easily is just stupid because Light and Darkness Dragon is one of the key cards in this format that could stop anything basically. So, and Light and Darkness is retarded. Being the ability of dragons to drop it in a turn easily is very stupid because not only negates everything you have in your hand, it's very hard to get over. I've seen people in regionals wasting tour guides effect just to bring down Light and Darkness Dragon. That's how retarded this card is. And once you finally somehow get rid of Light and Darkness Dragon, your opponent brings out another one with so much support dragons have, dumping the totem in the grave, the new Divine Dragon card that came out in Order of Chaos, Future Fusion. It's just so easily, you can get Light and Darkness Dragon out so easily, and getting a multiple of them out is just...
Okay, I'll go ahead and take a crack at this. I think I'm going to explain why it should be limited, and what he was trying to say, but like he said, his thoughts were all over the place. But let me narrow it down for you. Lad has always been abused. We know this. Lad has always been a pain, and it's always been a problem. But it's never been to the point where it's game affecting, and game winning. However, with the new Dragon structure deck and the ability to dump Totem and use Lad again and again and again every turn in a row, because you can search him now with Eclipse Weaver, and you can just keep returning him to your hand by banishing him for one of your special summon monsters and then using Lad Redemption. It becomes so abusive that you can literally go, Lad, okay, you kill it, Lad, okay, you kill it, Lad, okay, you kill it, Lad, and literally, the first Lad, you might be able to get over. Okay, I'll give you that. You might be able to get over him. Second Lad, I really don't think you're getting over him, and if you are, it's not easily. And the third Lad is just insult to injury. The third Lad is just gonna make sure no matter what you could do, it doesn't matter anymore. Light and Darkness Dragon is too easy to summon because of Totem Dragon. And even if that wasn't the situation, the new Dragon deck can special summon so many times and so easily in a single turn, it still becomes a problem. So,
yeah.
All in all, Light and Darkness Dragon, for the balance of the format, needs to go to 1. One Light and Darkness Dragon, fine, you can get over it.
Alright, the next card that should be limited, and this card is coming off the ban list. Goyo Guardian. Okay, the reason why we think that this card should be limited is because of the power of synchros dropping massively. If you look at 2008 to 2010, or maybe 2011, the synchros were the most powerful thing ever. Especially with the Exceeds coming out, now synchros are being pushed aside as the secondary extra deck cards. The only synchros good right now are Trishula, Brionac, maybe Catastor, and TG Hyper Librarian. Those are the only good synchros right now out.
Don't forget Scrap Dragon.
And Black Rose.
And Black Rose.
Yeah, those are the only good synchro cards out there because they're fast enough to compete with the format. With Goyo back, it brings so many decks out there. It brings zombies back. You could play Blacklings again because you could go get Goyo easily. And it sort of gives the synchro support. It just sort of gives synchro support because we get a 28 beater that could be easily special summoned. And Goyo is not that bad if you think about it. There's so many cards that can stop it. People are running double bottomless and double warnings now. People are like maining V prisons, and there's so many stuff to that get rid of Goyo, and so just having it bad is insult to injury to synchros. So
Zen Mind shuts down his effect really hard, and so does Gachi. So
it's just so why have it banned? Give synchros the support they need. Blackwing, zombies, like decks of those types. So I want to run down your thoughts really quickly.
Goyo, I don't have much to say on. Goyo was never a broken card. He was annoying at one point because he could steal your monsters, and back then there was nothing really you could do about it. Now, with every person, including plant players and every other player, maining a ton of anti-meta in the main deck, he really won't live long even if you play him, and his effect still isn't that great anymore. Before, it was if I attack you, my attack is higher, I kill you, and I take your monster. That's not the case now. You've got Veiler running around, which will stop his effect to take monsters. You've got Zenmain, which will completely nullify his effect. You've got Gachi, which will nullify his effect. You've got a lot of monsters that can completely nullify his effect and just stop it dead in his tracks. So there's really no point to have him banned. Now, 2 or 3 I think is way too much just because of his ability to keep monster reborning a monster over and over. I mean, that is a little bit ridiculous. So I think 1 is a good number for Goyo.
Exactly. All right.